that's gonna make my job a lot easier and gonna help you guys out more. We're talking live bait fishing today. So basically, the first thing you need to do is catch live bait. I've turned to buying my own live bait now. Like, I probably charter 200 days a year and I buy bait 200 days a year. I don't like getting up early. I don't want to waste money on sabikis. I want to get my bait and go. Caught bait for years and years. Just kind of got over it. But I'm going to go over how to catch bait and what you should use. If you're going to go out, in the wee hours, hour before daylight, rock piles, ledges, buoys. This D119 here will catch your goggle eyes, blue runners. Probably want to use, like, depending on the size bait you're catching. If you're fishing one rig, I'd probably go with a 20 ounce, just so they don't swim with the line, especially the blue runners. You can buy a map. Any of the maps have, all the maps are loaded with numbers. I guarantee you all those numbers have goggle eyes. Guarantee you all those numbers have blue runners. I guarantee you most of those numbers have sardines, threadfin herring, pilchards. You just have to go, right? You have to go. That's the biggest thing, is everyone just thinks every day is gonna be great, and it's not always like that. You might go one day, it's great, the next day, there's nothing there, and you may think, oh, I'm doing it wrong, or I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody could have caught bait that day, it's just the way it is. For sardines, herring, pilchards, there's really not a better rig than this. They are cheap too, so make sure you buy. No, they're not cheap. They're $5.19 to be a fact. So when a bonita eats it, it's a nice feeling, or a barracuda, or anything else that eats it that's not your bait, or when the baits swim up with it and it gets all Christmas tree and you can't untangle it. That's beautiful too. But
What is it?
Hayabusa, sabiki.
We'll pass them around in a minute.
Yeah, this is as good as it gets. I mean, if whenever you see guys catching them and you're not, it's because you got the $1 Walmart rig and they got the $6 white rig. That's really all it is. They're not a better fisherman than you. They have no idea what they're doing. They're just dropping this down and they're eating this because it's better. This is a steak and that other thing's a piece of gum. That's primarily the main baits you need to focus on. There's guys in the inlets who sell croakers and this and that. That's more for bottom fishing. We're not really going to go over that today. Some of the ways, when I live bait fish, I pretty much do it the same way every single day, depending if I'm drifting or if I'm slow trolling. If I'm drifting, typically I'm going to fish 4 on the flatline side, and then on a charter, I'll put 2 kites up with a couple of baits. But like, primarily for this group, I'm sure you guys probably aren't going to worry about the kite as much. In the flatline side, I've been fishing nothing but flatlines lately, and I'll fish like a long, a deep, and then I'll fish a medium long and a medium deep. And we've been catching tunas, kingfish, sailfish, wahoo, mutton snappers, groupers, just everything, right? Very simple fishing. Bring 100 sardines in the morning, and all the action you could ever want. One of the go-to rigs for me for live bait, whether it's a herring, sardine, pilchard, again, just I'm gonna say white bait, so I have to keep saying all the baits.
Watch the fan.
Oh, that's all right.
It's not on.
We could chop it in half. This is like a 12-inch piece of titanium. Very small piece of titanium. You don't have to fish mono to the hook. The tunas are gonna eat this. The wahoo are gonna eat this. Everything's gonna eat this. Too many people are worried about the wire making like a sailfish turn away, or a bottom fish turn away. That's not the case. This will catch everything. It's the bait that's gonna entice the bite. The sardine, the goggle eye, the croaker, the really good bait. This is a 4.0 owner Gorilla. This rig is my go-to rig. I use this on everything. On my deep baits, flat lines, everything. So like one of the ways I position. Can you guys all see that? Or no? Obviously not. I'll pass it around. Or you guys can come up here at the end.
How many pound test is the titanium?
I use 50. 50,
I can hear it. No, I can really hear it.
42 pound. No, 50 pound on everything. It's not gonna matter. I know guys who use 30, 40. It's all, whatever makes you sleep at night, but I've tried it all 1,000 times, and I'm telling you, you'll sleep a lot better at night knowing that you're getting a bite from a big fish on 50 pound than 30 pound, thinking that's what got you the bite, and it's really not. One of my go-to rigs or styles, how I'm gonna lay the rods out, is I'll always put the long out first. So if I'm fishing all sardines, all herring, I'll put like my long flat line, I'll start away from with the boat. Then when I turn the boat, typically I'm setting up down in Palm Beach, even up here on the 6-8 mile, I'm gonna set up in 150-ish, and I'm gonna blow in and go through all the wrecks. I'm gonna put a long flat line, then I'm gonna put my deepest bait. Then I'm gonna put my medium deep and then my medium long. So I'm fishing 4 baits effectively, as long as I have a drift. Meaning I'm getting pulled, you know what I mean? I'm moving through the water, and I don't have some weird stuff going on where there's like currents opposing each other, the bottom current's moving this way. As long as I'm moving true to, in the water, I usually put the motors up and I'll drift sideways. And that rig is absolutely deadly. I've caught 100-pound yellowfins, 80-pound wahoo, 50-pound kings, just to name a few.
You'll catch a wahoo just drifting?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Trolling's probably the best way to catch them with planers, but I've caught all my biggest ones on live bait. Yeah, absolutely. I'll show you another rig that I like to use a lot. If I get into a bite, like when I'm getting a bite, like bite after bite after bite after bite, I fish a triple J. Basically, it's a 3/6/0 hooks together. You have to bend the eyes out and put them together. I like having a 50-pound fluorocarbon from the swivel, and I use a top shot of 40, and then I got 50-pound braid on here. And what you want to do is you want to throat hook the bait with this. And a lot of times I'll let it swim down, and they'll swim straight to the bottom, and you'll catch a mutton, a grouper, kingfish, a cobia, wahoo, everything on this rig right here. This is deadly. It's just nice. Lays across the bait, and super deadly rig.
Did you say you were running that right to braid, or did you have your titanium?
Well, the mono's on the titanium, but if I'm triple J and I like to have the braid as the main line, because I have a smaller reel, it's easier to deal with. Gives me more capacity, and then I put a top shot of 40-pound mono to a swivel, and then 3 feet of 50, 3 to 4 feet of 50 to the triple J.
What kind of reels are you fishing?
That's a good question. The most expensive ones. No, the Trinidad 20 is really good for the triple J's. It's a good bottom fishing reel. Doesn't have the highest retrieve, so it's not good for the kite. But like for the kite, for instance, I use the Fathoms. They're 60 inches of crank. You want to be able to gain line when it pops out of the clip. It really makes a difference. One year we tried to use all Trinidad 30s, and it took a week to come tight on the fish. By the time I came tight to them, it was the next tournament. It got dark, and then somehow there was another tournament that we caught that fish. But so yeah, that definitely matters.
How deep are you going?
I like to personally fish like 200 in, right?
How deep are your baits?
It's more of a feel thing, but I'm probably getting my deep one down 100.
How?
How?
I mean, you using some kind of weight or just?
Yep, good question. I love that, man. My dementia was kicking in.
You keep saying deep line, I'm like, and you're showing us hooks.
Right. I like you, man. You're gonna make this easy for me. So, I use the little balloon clips. Right, I let the bait out 75 feet, clip it on. The weight's gonna change each day, depends on the current, the wind, how fast the boat's moving. If I'm not using this blue clip, I just I'll just take the rubber band, basically do a loop on it. Just like take it like this.
Give the hook the cod. Give the hook the cod, then we can see it.
I'll hook them.
Good.
Basically, it's a double loop, right? And if I get it up, and I'll usually tell the customer, I'll say back up, back up with the rod, I'll take the weight. You can take it off, put it in your pocket. This is less efficient though, because you end up putting that on almost every rod. And then when you go to pop it off, it does damage the mono, no matter what you do. So that's how I'm using my deep weights. If I'm slow trolling, obviously I'm using a downrigger. This is the electric kite reel you want to use for kite fishing. You can use any one you want. This is affordable, does the job. I typically like to run my clips. I'll just go over this real quick. I like to go 90 feet in between each clip, and then from the last clip to the, which would be the smallest swivel, to the actual snap swivel 120 feet away. So it's 120, 90, 90, and then you want to put like another 150 feet of line on there. But I could go over that with you guys at the end and show you in depth how I actually rigged this up. A couple of rigs that I use for live baiting, like bigger baits, like when I'm slow trolling, or if sometimes when I'm drifting, mostly in tournaments when I'm fishing bigger baits. Basically I use 3.5 feet of titanium, and I'll fish a 6-0. And then I have 2 trebles to the back. This rig right here is good for a speedo, blue runner, bluefish. A little small for a bluefish, but it'll work. You just add another hook, and this will accommodate everything. I mean, these, you want to use these bigger hooks. They're going to catch the fish. So that's for my bigger baits. And then when I'm fishing smaller baits, like a goggle eye, I'll take and I'll put 1 hook. And then I'll make all these, I'll pre-make these before the tournament. I'll have hundreds of them. So that way when we catch a fish and the rig's bent, I just throw it in the water.
What'd you say the size of the treble hooks were?
This is a size 1.
1-0?
You don't want to go any smaller than that.
1-0 or 1?
1. A lot of people really look into this too much. Don't. Unless you're using something this big, you're just wasting your time by using small hooks, in my opinion. I mean, I know guys up here fish the beach with a 1/2 pound of drag and let the fish run 500 yards, but we can't fish like that. We can't afford that with the sharks. The sharks are just too bad where we're at. Any questions?
On your kite bait, on your furthest one, are you using a heavier weight on your swivel?
Usually,
Feed your bait, because I've noticed my furthest bait, I have a hard time getting my
keep
line.
it in the water.
Even if I'm using like 20 pounds, it's still hard.
So one thing with that is if it's windy, your clip, you do want to use a heavier weight or a bigger bait, but your clip is actually blowing up the line,
Okay.
right? So it's blowing up towards the kite, and that's what's keeping it. So you could reel it, it will pull it to the swivel, and you'll get it back closer and sometimes get in the water, and then it does the same thing. So what you want to do is you want to put a rubber band before you put the clip out.
Okay, it'll stop it.
It'll stop it from going out, and then just use a bigger weight
Yeah.
and a bigger,
I
obviously.
noticed your weights are a little bigger, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show you my kite rig, how I fish it. I don't fish snap swivels because then you have to hand line the fish to the boat, and that's just not gonna work.
Are you talking about using rubber bands so that it slides back through the ring?
No, it keeps the kite clip from going up. Right?
Keeps the kite clip from going up.
Yeah, 'cause the other
And you
one-
could use it all day long. The only clip that's gonna get blown up is the last one. So you only really need to put it on the last clip. Right, a lot of guys, there's guys who use like floss whips. The problem with that, if the line goes bad, you have to redo the whole thing. I used to do that. I went back to swivels because if I get a little chafe in the line, I can just retie it in seconds. I just use the better swivels, the Spro swivels, so they don't break. That's the problem. If you use the crap that they sell you, you'll end up losing kite after kite. The way I fish my kite rig is I fish. This is a charter rig, so it's not as professional. I like to use.
So I see what you use when you take us out.
Oh no! This is legit. Believe me. This is. Think about how much titanium this is. I'm 7 foot tall. No,
On a
this
good
is,
day.
this is probably 4.5 feet. In a tournament, I'll use 6, but it becomes cost prohibitive on a charter, and really it doesn't matter. The only time it matters is when a big fish is skying on your bait, particularly just a kingfish, and he's gonna end up cutting you here. You know, he's gonna, when the line, you think it's straight up and down, but there's always an angle. He skies this way, gets this in his bait, you know, in his mouth, and cuts you off. But the way I fish it, I'll fish 25 feet a leader, 20 to 25 feet. That way I don't have to keep replacing it, even more sometimes, right? And then I fish, the first thing I put on is the ring, then I put the weight, then this and the swivel. So this and the rubber band. I can slide this up and down, or I can reel down to the fish, right? Instead of how most of the guys do it, they have a snap swivel with 15 feet a leader because they want to be legal, and it's not even a tournament. So there's no point, and they're literally pulling on a fish. It's hard. I mean, you're fishing 30, 40 pound leader, and you're almost breaking them off because it's just not the same feel as with the rod as your hand, you know? So that's my kite setup. If I'm fishing bigger baits, I'll add a treble. They're gonna be a little bit closer, like on a big run, like a big goggle eye, I'll fish like that. And then a runner, I'll put one there and there. That's basically gonna be for everything. I don't need to have 4 or 5 hooks on a bluefish on the kite, because I'm gonna let him eat it. You know, he's gonna take a swipe at it and he's gonna come in and hail it. So that's that with the kite. The kite fishing's really simple. A lot of people like to complicate it, and they kind of, you know, they get a little nervous or whatever, like, fuck it. They just don't end up not doing it. I know a lot of people that are like that, and it's really super effective and easy. You can put one kite out. You know, you want to fish. Let me show you real quick. You want to fish like a balloon, not a helium balloon, but you want to put a balloon on the back with copper wire. So if you put the kite up and the wind's blowing, right, and it falls in the water, it's gonna float. You're not gonna lose a $200 kite, which I still don't put balloons on them, and I lose them all the time.
Especially the sailboats.
Yeah, and the sailboats come by and take them. But you know, yeah, a 2-cent balloon saves your $200 kite, and I still don't do it. It's insane. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. It's probably because my kids have driven me crazy. But anyway, when you're fishing the kite and you have a quality presentation on the surface, especially for blackfin tunas, the bonitas are so bad now, it's like, so I'm not even doing it. But when you're like, when the blackfin tunas are, you know, when there's 10-to-1 blackfin tunas, there's nothing better than the kite for catching them. You know, if you're chunking on the flatline side, you know, for the tunas, you know, chunking sardine chunks, and then fishing your live bait into that, that's deadly too. But doing that anymore just attracts sharks. So now you're just attracting sharks, so we try not to do that. But yeah, you can leave the kite up. You don't have to keep it perfect on the surface. You're not in a tournament. And then you can do your thing on the other side, have all your other lines out. And I always leave the reels locked over. Keep the drag engaged. Don't keep it to where, I used to see guys on the pier when I was younger, and they keep the drag, and I see it on boats now where they want to loosen the drag. I'm gonna let them run with it when he eats it. Like, the thing piped it. He already digested it. It's already out of them. So you actually rehook them.
What kite do you prefer?
The SFE for the light wind and the medium wind stuff. If you're really gonna go out in 30-mile-an-hour winds, which I can't stand it, to be honest with you, you need to have the 4-hole Bob Lewis heavy wind or the 6-hole. You can order them online. They're gonna fly perfect. The SFEs to me are awful in that kind of wind. I like having the Bob Lewis. You can bank them nice, and they fly like this, perfect in 30 miles an hour. If you got the SFE, it's not good.
I found out there's a little art to flying that kite. I was not a very good kite flyer.
Which one?
I had trouble flying the kite.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't, some people go out there with their mindset, oh, I'm gonna fly the kite today. And there's 2 miles an hour wind. You're not gonna fly the kite, so you just have to do something else, right? Or if you're bottom fishing and the water's cold or it's south tide at 3 knots, you might wanna bottom fish, but there's no reason to bottom fish, right? So you gotta adapt to what's out there, right? And one thing I always say is just because you go out there and it's like baseball, right? I always equivalent things to that because I played to college, whatever. You could do the right thing and still fail, right? So you're doing the right thing fishing. You go out there, you're presenting your baits properly. You got quality bait, you got quality rigs. Everything's perfect. You just don't catch the fish you want. But the guy 6 miles to the south catches them, and you're like, oh, what the hell was he doing? Oh my God.
He
Nothing.
was
That's
6
just-
miles to the south.
Yeah, that's just the way it is, right? So you might have had a cold water upwelling, you might have had south tide, you could have had sharks under your boat, you could have had a number of things, right? Fishing's fishing. I see it every single day where it's good, bad, medium, good, bad. It's just the way it is.
What inlet do you got?
I fish everywhere, but 90% of the time Palm Beach, just because it's so close. All my bait's there. The people spend more money.
I see that
Well,
balloon
like
clip,
it is.
Yeah,
please.
they sell them at White's.
Yeah, I know.
And yours, right?
I just want to see it. It's gone.
Not sponsors.
So do you keep your boat down there, and what kind of boat do you run?
I run a 33 conch. I keep my boat either at my house or Palm Beach Gardens, depending if I'm doing multiple charters, or if I'm kind of slow, depending on the time of year. I'll keep it at my house. I like to have it at my house. Not off topic, but one of the main reasons why I don't like to have a slip is because unless I can literally pull up and be 30 feet away, I don't want to carry 10 bags of ice. I don't want to carry 20 or 15 rods. I don't want to carry that every single day. I'd rather have it on my truck and get a new trailer every 3 years.
So on the titanium, I assume that's single strand?
Yeah,
And does that kink as bad as other single strand wires?
no.
Okay.
You can reuse it over and over again. It's not like it used to be. They you know, they got us in, they got us hooked to it, and then they make it less. It's not the same quality, but it's still better than regular wire.
Okay.
It just is. I mean, it's easier on the hands. You can literally go 3 loops, pull it tight, cut it, you're ready to go.
Okay.
On your downline, what depth of water are you getting bottom fish coming up, the muttons and the grouper?
I've caught muttons on the Kite. So, I mean, ideally, if I'm mutton fishing, I'm anchored. I'm fishing out the back of the boat, doing it the way you want to do it to catch, just like wahoo trolling. But I've caught them from the bot. You know, a lot of times if I start in 200 feet, I'll put it down 100, and I don't have a bite on it, and now I know I'm in like 110. I'm gonna reel it up a little bit because now that line might lay down to the bottom, depending on what the current is. The bait's probably gone. That's another thing. You have to continually check your baits because you don't see every bite. You don't see the triggerfish that takes it off. You don't see the sailfish that knocks it off. The waves knock it off.
Were there more sharks than 10 years ago? Why? I mean, you know.
So the sharks have actually made it to where it's not fun, really not enjoyable anymore.
Okay.
Just to be honest with you. Tournament fishing used to be so much fun. Now it's stressful. We got to turn on the fish. We got to chase it down. We got to pull. The heart rate's going. You got, you know, everything's more money now. You got 5,000-6,000 in it. Sharks are terrible. The bull
People
sharks.
up north asked me that question. I said, you have to ask the sharks. I don't.
Yeah.
They're breeding more.
No, they don't have a market for them anymore because
Oh,
they
okay.
stay. You could thank Guy Harvey for that, but the reality of it is that the sharks have to be. It's no different than hogs, right? You know how people just shoot them and no one cares. You don't have tree huggers, you know, crying at night over that. But
They
if
all
you,
live in Boulder, Colorado.
yeah, exactly. Or Stewart, because
Really?
Stewart's the only place I know with a boat ramp that doesn't have trash cans. That's smart though. But anyway, the sharks are absolutely brutal. They'll be under the boat circling. You'll be sitting there and you'll have your full spread out. You know, you got 6 goggle eyes on the Kite. You got 4 sardines out. Just think about the money in that, along with the tackle.
Yeah.
And as soon as you hand a rod to a customer who can't pull their wallet out of their back pocket without being out of breath, and they're just like, they're like,
You hope they do it. You hope they do it again.
you could tell them, you put the rod in the rod holder, and it's like this, and it starts to bend over, and I say, just reel, come tight to them, unless it's dumping line, come tight to them, because a lot of times the fish eat it, and it just goes, right, and they come tight to them, and they'll just grab it, and they'll go. You mother. Blast them in the head with it. They like that. They come back.
When you have that single hook and then you come down a couple inches and you have that treble, do you stick that treble in the bait too, or just let it?
Yeah, I hook my trebles underneath in the belly. I like, because you think about it, the fish come from under. Yeah, I mean, I believe like certain baits are better to be hooked on top and certain are better to be hooked on the bottom. So that's up to whatever you like and prefer. I'm not gonna tell you one way or the other. I've lost a lot of fish having it hooked on the belly with like bullet bonitas, bluefish, but like with goggle eyes, speedos, smaller runners, it's the best way, you know, and that's just, but you think about it, on the kite, you have them hooked up top, you know, and I've caught a lot of fish with them hooked up top as well, so both ways work, but you have to make sure you have the second hook long enough so you can actually not pull on the fish, so he's like this out there, you gotta like have them to where the wire's long enough.
Is your second hook 50-pound titanium also?
I fish number 9 wire
Okay.
on the back hooks, or 8 or 9.
Okay.
You can do all titanium, but it's so nice just to be able to cut it, retie the wire.
Right.
And I really believe that the titanium gets you more bites. I feel like the wire gets bit through less, and that doesn't make sense, but it just does. I see it all the time.
So you're only using the regular wire on a trailer?
Right. That's the only time I use regular wire, is on the trailer hooks.
Now, if I thought I heard you right, you hook on your live bait, when you're drifting, you throw it out there, you said 75 feet, you hook on your weight, and then you drop it down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take it all the way to the bottom, you just
No.
keep it at different
Yeah.
depths depending on what.
I'll count seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20, depending on how deep you are, and then the other one, I'll count 10. No different than planer fishing, it's just so you know that they're at different, so you're not getting tangled. If you have a good drift, it probably doesn't matter if you have them both set same depth, because you're pulling so nicely. It matters, the spread's more important when you have bad conditions, right? But if they're biting down 90 feet, I'm gonna make sure both of them are down 90 feet. I'm not gonna keep putting this one and not getting bit. You know, you don't wanna be robotic or literal about things, like my son, you know, he's literal. You'll tell him something and they'll literally do it to the T you told him, instead of having a feel for it or common sense.
I'll put mine out on the end of both outriggers and drift. Is that a good idea? I figure it keeps the bait.
What kind of boat do you have?
I've got a 28 blue water, so I've got outriggers.
So do you keep the motor bumping in gear?
I just turn it off and drift.
Okay.
I figure if I keep.
That's not a bad plan, but that's not gonna be the best way to go about it.
And why's that?
Unless you're straight, right?
Yeah, I mean, cause the wind's gonna turn you, right? So your outriggers are like this, you're gonna be fishing out the back, because you're in the clips, right? So the boat's gonna naturally wanna turn to wind side, so you're gonna be fishing on an angle with your baits. So I always lift my motors out of the water. I wanna be like this. If you're pulling straight and your lines are with your boat like this, you're gonna have the most success, I think. I just like that. I don't want my lines to be that way and I'm this way and I'm like, why's my line back there? And you're going along.
So you're lifting your motors, you're saying, to compensate.
Yeah, but you can't, I also have 6 batteries, so I'm not gonna, a lot of people are like literally living on the edge. They turn their boat off and won't restart. They get it started in the morning, they're happy.
So your other option would be to bump troll, keep everything straight.
Yeah, if you're doing that, bump troll. Bring it down, get a downrigger. They have digital downriggers. You put a 100-pound braid on them, take that wire, that cable stuff off. Auto up, you're by yourself, you're with one buddy. Rod gets hit, auto up, boom, comes up to the water line. Now you're still fishing your things in the back. You can just keep one motor in, bumping in and out, have your buddy just keeping it kind of sideways into the fish. You know, the blue water is a good platform. It's got a 360, you know, so why not fish sideways to it? Just put the right rod holders in so you could just fish without the outriggers. But the outriggers are good too. That works.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. Any other questions?
What kind of rod holders we need? You just talked about rod holders.
So they sell these. Are you talking about degree?
Yeah, degree and
It
swivel,
depends.
non-swivel.
Yeah, you don't need swivel. That's more for like sword fishing, big sharks. So basically 30 degree would be better for your flat lines, 15 degree would be better for your kite reels. And then I put a couple of 0 degrees for these. Because what happens is if you have it angling and it's rough, the boat leans and that just goes right out. And then it starts skipping on the surface. These things do good underwater though. They're better actually when they go under the water and then you get it back. The thing is you always do get it back, but that's what happens. So having the angle, and then when it's really rough and you have too straight of a rod, and say like you're fishing a flat line and the sardines hooked in the back or in the nose, and you're rocking, you're ripping that bait, opposed to it being like this and it's just less. A lot of times when it's rough and I'm in a tournament, everyone's holding a rod. You know, besides the kite guys, we'll have 3 kites out, and then we'll be like this. That way we're not, the baits are fishing, because you don't want to be getting ripped. You know, because it does get really rough out there. Waves are breaking in the boat. It's just no fun.
Question?
Yeah.
Is the cold water upwelling as bad down in Palm Beach as it
Yeah.
is up here?
There's been cold water there for 2 weeks. I'm marking it on my GPS. The fish are still biting, so it's not bothering nothing, but it's just a matter of time before it does. It does help the sharks. The sharks go deeper. So I didn't see any sharks today, but that's the problem is you think, oh, they're gone, and then all of a sudden the next day you see 100. And they're all at 500 pounds, and they're relentless on your fish, relentless.
Get away from the boat.
They eat sailfish, they eat everything you let go. Sailfish, good luck getting a tuna that goes straight under the boat. Big kingfish, wahoo. I keep mentioning wahoo, but that's like, you know, you might catch 20 a year if you're lucky.
Unless you go to Jacksonville.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Bullet bonitas and stuff, that's crazy, but
Yep.
you can do that here. Bullets are awesome. At push button, I've caught a ton of big wahoo and kingfish on bullets. If you can get tuna tubes, troll this around. With 4 hooks, you'll catch the bullet bonitas on this. De-hook them, put them in the tuna tube. I have big 200-gallon wells on my
On
boat.
the #1 planer.
That works. Yeah. I just troll this around the top. It'll always work.
I just use it, okay.
Yeah, the planer's fine too. And you can make a better quality hook with a lure that you can use for months. This is one time, you know.
Yeah.
And if you get 4 or 5 on, good luck. That's
Keeping your live bait live when the surface temperature is like 90 degrees.
right.
That's just the way it is, and like.
I mean, it's hotter usually back here than the ocean. So if you're penning up bait, that's more of a concern.
I'm saying offshore.
They're not gonna, yeah, they're living out there, so they're not gonna die. You probably you're gonna hold less in your live wells. You know, so don't put 200 baits like the winter time and think, oh, I can put 200 baits, they all live in perfect. Well, that's because the water's 75, 70, whatever.
Okay.
When the water's 90, fish half as many baits. That way they live good, because, you know, quality bait's everything.
If we overcrowd my live well, because it's got a glass top on it or clear top, and it gets warm in there, if we end up overloading it and it's warm like that, then we'll take the line from our freshwater line or the raw water line and throw an extra hose in there. Just keep extra water flowing into it.
Okay.
Put some
Or
ice
just-
cubes in it.
Or just build a live well that,
I'm serious. Put ice in it.
yeah, I mean, you shouldn't want to do that, right? You work hard your whole life, you want to have a quality boat, just make the live well so it keeps them alive. You don't want to be having the wash pound pump on or have something pouring in it.
No, it's more crap.
Just make the live well nice and pristine, then your baits are good, and you don't have to worry about it. It's, you know, whatever, it costs a couple grand, it costs whatever it costs. Make it, you know, if you really enjoy fishing, it's just a peace of mind that you can't beat.
Where do you get most of your wahoo? Like what depth range, like which inlet would you go out of, like where do you get them?
So,
I think that's the secret.
Jupiter's really good, but there's a million bonitas. So I go south of Palm Beach Inlet, down to like Trumps or Mar-a-Lago, and that area from 150 in, you kind of just want to do this. The planers are going to be the best bet, but I don't really enjoy trolling. So I'd rather pull bullets or live baits. It just depends on the seaweed too. That's another thing that's out of control. Sharp seaweed. It's impossible to even fish some days out there. That's another reason why this rig here, this little hook with a sardine on it, can catch anything. I mean, I caught a 150-pound yellowfin last year. 156 and and 141. And I had another one, I got lips back. That was nice. I fought him for 4 hours. I thought I was gonna die afterwards. Oh, this one. One like this. I have 30 of these. But yeah, I fought that fish for 4 hours.
Your charter thought it was a sailfish.
Yeah, the other two I caught in 45 minutes. The customer is just like this. They have no chance, and I'm like, this is a fish of a lifetime. We're gonna tag team them. But the one was over 200 pounds, huge yellowfin, gigantic. I fought him for 4 hours. I was dying, heart palpitations. Like I went from 280 to 230. I was shaking afterwards. I thought I was gonna die. And then the sharks ate them. So then the next day I went out and handled some sharks. But I got lips back. The mouth was like that big. So something literally ate a fish. It was one bite. Because I was fighting him, I was pinwheeling him, and it was just like, I'm like, oh, he's coming up. And I'm thinking like, yeah, right. Lips are coming up.
That was at Palm Beach?
Palm Beach. This year I haven't heard anyone I heard one. But every year, some years it's better than others. It's almost impossible to get them on this tackle. You know, you have to put 50s. You almost have to put 50s in your kites, and it's like, what are you gonna? That's not gonna fish very well, and then you're probably not gonna get a bite. So having that titanium's nice too, because if you have 30, 40, or 50-pound fluoro, those tunas will rub through it. Their teeth are amazing. I didn't know they had teeth like that. You know, I'm not rich. I don't get to go to Bahamas every week like these guys and go experiment and look at all these fish. So when I caught them, that was literally the first one I ever caught.
Is there a particular month that you're seeing yellowfins down there?
April, May.
Okay.
100%. April, May, they're moving through. The first one I actually caught, slow trolling, which was crazy. It ate a downrigger bait. And me and my buddy Aton fought them. But the biggest one that we got the lips on was off the Kite, and then the other one was off Jupiter. And they both get it, they eat it, they all do the same thing. They rip half your line off your reel on the surface around. You think it's a wahoo, or, you know, because we didn't see it. Then it just goes deep and it says, yeah.
You sound them.
Yeah. And then your question on the wahoo too, like you can get them out here too. It's just like around the moon, 3, 4, 5 days before, up until the moon. It's all about, huh?
We've tried, we've had no success around here. We've gone here on the moons, high speed trolling plugs. We've done like.
Do you do the planers with the long shank hook with mono?
I've told Dad to try that quite a few times.
So
I'm not Dad. Dad's over there. Dad's over there.
Not listening.
He still hasn't listened to me.
Dad's over
So
there.
my dad's the same way. He's a vegetable. He doesn't want to learn and get better. Right? So they think this is like the 20s where you control.
Are you walking home?
You control a sub. You put your sub.
That's
on
all right.
it.
I'll take you home. I gotta go that way anyway.
So there's the long shank hook, and the Pompano guys have really got that mastered. The long shank hook, the bridle system makes it nice to where you can actually fight the fish all the way to the boat. That actually got me into actually doing it a little bit more, because it's like, okay, I don't want to have to hand line a fish in. It's not about skill. I don't want to do that. Yeah. You know, I had a 50-pound dolphin one time. We were showing this dumbass big weight, and he's on the end of the line on an 80-pound test, and it's like he's jumping in the air. It's like, what the? It looked like I had Jeepers Creepers on the damn thing. The thing was 6 feet long jumping. I'm like, if I would have had the bridle system, it would have been easy right next to Yakima. You got to make it easier on yourself. All that stuff is just things. So the long shank hook, right? Pink and white, blue and white. You can't go wrong. I fish 75 feet from the planer to the hook of 80-pound Andy pink, and then I'll fish like 6 feet of 60-pound fluorocarbon. Just I'll do a uni or a little swivel, and you'll catch them. It outfishes it 20 to 1. I used to say the same thing. It doesn't matter. It just does matter. It just does. They just, for whatever reason, it's just a better presentation. It's smaller. you got a lure like that big. I mean, it's not normal. They're eating baits like this, they're not eating them like this. But,
What do they charge it for a dozen goggle eyes for a tournament?
Goggle eyes are like 100. It depends who you buy them from. The guys who have been doing it for like 35, 40 years, and they get whatever they want basically because they're dependable. They're out there every day. They look 500 years old and they're 35. The dad started it. They look so run down. They're making all this money, but it's like not even worth it.
About $120 a dozen out here, guys that sell them.
Right. I mean, you guys have it. You're fortunate here. There's tons of sardines, right? Palm Beach. When I go out the inlet, I can go to the right to the dredge hole, but really I would have to go up to the pier. You have a ton of spots out here that have sardines, threadfin herring. That's all you need. Why have anything else? The goggle eye is a great bait, but it's gonna fish better on the Kite. It's a bigger bait if you have more wind, but when it's calm in the summertime, herring, sardines, there's nothing better. You can catch 200 of them and just let them out and have a blast. That's one thing with me is I never really, my dad was always focused, he always wanted to catch dolphin. And I get it, they taste good, they're fun. But if they're not around, I'm not going dolphin fishing, right? So I always like to catch everything. And that was one thing, that's why I don't really like trolling anymore, because he burned me out on that. We would troll every day when I was in there. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? He's like, we're going 30 off. There's nothing out there but ships. He would use a piece of wire like this long. He never got on the mono game, and I'm like, God. I was young though, 10, 11, I couldn't really tell him. I was just happy to be there.
Catch anything big doing that?
A lot of dolphins. The dolphin don't care. Back then though, there was dolphin. We would go out, we grew up in Hollywood. There was dolphin. You go inside the inlet and you go by the ships and catch all the dwarf jacks you want like this. They're beautiful for dolphin. You're just going for dolphin, right? That's all you're getting. You might get an occasional wahoo bite, blue marlin, whatever. 1 in a million. He would always mention that as if it would happen, but we never got it.
We've had it.
Yeah, it can happen. Not me, but I know people who've hooked big yellowfins out there and gotten spooled by whatever, probably big squids, who knows. But we would go offshore and we would have plenty of chances at 20 and 30 pound dolphin, plenty of 10, 12, 15 pounders. Now it's not like that. It's a waste of time. We don't even, I don't think this year I've caught a dolphin over 12 pounds. We usually catch hundreds of them over 20, fishing just live bait.
Yeah.
On the reef. They come through the reef April, May, the same time as the yellowfins. Would you have?
So you mentioned mono, and then you mentioned fluorocarbon, and there's been back and forth about mono's just as good as fluorocarbon. You can't see it in the water.
Mm-hmm.
You like the fluorocarbon?
Way better.
Because
it's just way
abrasion?
That guy that did that thing is a lie. Because I had people calling me like, oh my God, mono's as good as fluor. It's not. It's just not. It's bite into it, okay? Take 30-pound Andy, right? I have like crazy good teeth, like the only good thing on my body, genetics-wise. I bite through 30-pound like nothing, and you bite fluorocarbon, you feel it. It's much harder to bite through. It's much harder for the fish to rub through, right?
Now you just jinx yourself.
Yeah.
What was that? What'd you say?
I jinx myself. I always jinx myself. My tooth's probably gonna break tomorrow. That's all right. Everyone else has fake ones, right? They all look like this. They like to show them off too. They'll smile all day at you. I got them on my boat. They're just smiling. I go, okay, I get it. 20 G's. Make sure you leave a good tip. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. But so the power of it, you know what I mean? It's just stronger. It's not gonna get bit off. And like 60-pound, I like Blue Label. Don't listen to him. He'll try and sell you Andy because he gets like dollars. Every spool he sells, he gets $10, $15, I think. That's garbage. Ours, the New Yorkers say garbage. I'm telling you.
For 20 years, I've been using Momoy Diamond.
That's what I use.
Pink fluorocarbon.
That's great.
I can't get it anymore.
No, you can't.
They quit making it.
Sorry. I can't get High C Orange anymore at McDonald's. I used to get it all the time back in the day leaving the club. It sucks, don't it? But to be honest with you, Blue Label, hold on. Give me that thing. He's holding his ears up. Blue.
Hit the red button.
Come on, man. I'm gonna be like Conor McGregor. My mic's off.
Is there a huge difference between the inshore and the offshore? Cause I just get the inshore.
Yes. Blue Label fluorocarbon.
What brand is it?
Seagar invented fluorocarbon. It's the best fluorocarbon. It's expensive, but I actually went from, I used to fish all 40-pound, like for my blackfin tunas and Yozuri, and I wanted to go to 30. So I tried 30 Yozuri, and I was hooking 20, 25-pound blackfins, and they were chafing me off. So I went to 30-pound Blue Label, and it happens once every, if you hook like a 35-pounder and you're pulling like a maniac, then it will happen. But it does matter too, 30 and 40 getting bites, it's a big difference. I don't know why. This is too hot. Turn this off. Yeah, but fluorocarbons, that's not true. There's no way. It's just, it's stronger, more abrasion resistant. Now, as far as being able to see in the water, that's probably true. You know, like Pink Andy, I promise you probably disappears the same. But you ever see Pink Andy's memory? The line has so much memory in it. I try to use it. Like my dad had $1,000 worth of line in the.
The microphone.
Oh,
Sorry.
I forgot what I said now. No, the Pink Andy has a lot of memory in it. I tried to use it. Momoy is just a much better line. And then the fluorocarbon has less memory in it, less stretch. So like for trolling, for instance, you're gonna get a lot more life out of it. It's not gonna be all bound up, it's gonna look more natural. Yeah, all you have to do is bite on the fluorocarbon, and you'll see that it's much harder to get through than mono.
You say you're using like 3 or 4 feet of fluorocarbon from your wire leader?
Way more than that.
Oh.
I use, like if I'm using 30-pound, I got 20, 30 feet on there. It's expensive.
Yeah, I know.
But so that's another thing, with the sharks eat your fish, they take that. But if the sharks aren't around, it's nice because you can cut back 2 feet, rehook another rig on that's pre-made, you're ready to go.
You talked about your braid. What kind of braid do you prefer?
He's Mr. Braid guy. I honestly,
He's this Triple J rod, he's got the spider wire and Visibraid. So I think that's probably the best braid, and that's what I usually put on all his stuff. So.
yeah, I haven't done a lot of research on the braid. Just, I'll get spools from him and I'll use that and just trust that it's good, and it's been
He
good.
must like it because he fished all the tournaments and he hasn't strangled me yet. So.
Yeah. Just his rigs were breaking, but I'm kidding.
What's the thickest line you've bit through?
Thick, too thick. The dentist doesn't recommend it. I could bite through 200 easy. Yeah. I got really good teeth. My grandfather was a dentist, and he did the the poly bifloor, and I don't think they do that anymore. So everyone's teeth are like brittle. Everyone I know has like 17 cavities on the boat. They're stinking. I'm like, hey dude, you got cavities. I can smell them. He's fighting fish out of breath. I'm like, relax, dude. He's like, yeah, I'm going to Guatemala in a week. I'm going to get them filled. Guatemala. Catch a sailfish while you're there. Any questions? I mean, I can pretty much answer anything you need about live bait.
You mentioned how kite fishing can be a little complex for folks when you start.
Right.
I agree. But getting the kite up's one thing, but would you just briefly discuss all that stuff on your kite rig and how critical it is when you get started?
Right.
Really, how damn critical is the ring, the cork, the weight, and all that stuff? I get it all has a purpose, but for a guy starting to kite fish,
Right.
could somebody like simplify that to begin with and then move in, and what would you maybe,
Okay.
instead of diving into a lot of folks, don't kite fish at all, and they look at, it's not just a kite.
Yeah.
It's what you gotta put on the damn rod, what's the purpose, and then, like the peak cork has its purpose to get your head and stuff, but could you like prioritize that? So folks
Yeah.
maybe-
So a lot of people get frustrated with the kite based on the fact that they're trying to put it up when there's no wind. If you have the wind to kite fish, it's very easy, right? So I'm gonna show you basically I wish I had a headset. It's hard to hold this. I need to be like a squid or something. Octopus arms. So hello. Here. So closer, man.
Why don't you hold the kite, Cod, and then they could, I'll use one hand to hold the mic and then show you with the other hand.
38 IQ, 12. Not very smart after a long day of fishing too. I don't even know my name right now.
Stand behind you.
So basically, when you push this thing in, this bridle in, it's gonna drop the kite. When you go out, you're picking up wind. So there's two black lines here, right? I like to set up on a normal 10 to 12. This kite, they say it flies in 6 miles an hour. It doesn't. It surely doesn't, especially if you put any kind of terminal tackle on it, any kind of bait, it's not flying. So you want 12 to 15 mile an hour wind, even with the light wind kite. You want to put it in between both black marks. I like to go right in the middle. And then if it starts to fly a little bit high, then I'll go to the first black mark. But typically in the middle is going to be your best bet. What Sandy was saying is I'm going to explain. Keep holding that.
Or just moving the rocks.
If you're hooking up the kite to it, hook it to it. Come on now, hook it.
Take that home and work on it, or what?
He works at White's. What do you expect? So your kite's going out, right? So this is 100. We got to go 120 feet till we get to our first clip. So when we get to our first clip, basically 120 feet is going to give you the wind and the separation that you want. You're going to have you're going to have you're going to have real wind out there. Some people have it this far away from their clip. They start to hook it on here. They're like, oh man, you got to give it 120 feet is the ticket. And then I go 90 feet between. But when you get to the first clip usually stays. Right. Your first clip is always going to be the smallest hole. So so basically the smallest swivel can go through the biggest one, medium, and then pull this one out. You want to always check the tension. If I have a lot of wind, I'm going to have the tension a little bit more, a little bit harder, and it's in a feel thing. You can't just learn this on YouTube. You got to go out there and do it. I still need.
You talking about the tension on the clip or tension?
Yeah, tension on the clip.
You need more help, hands?
Need something. I'm starting to lose my mind here.
Did you ever do this, Mark?
And make sure the clips are the right.
So-
Fishing you could ever do.
Man, there are guys that ain't 12 feet tall here.
Baits on top of the water.
Basically, you want the tension. It's going to be a feel thing, the tension. But you don't want to have it too tight to where when a fish hits it, it pulls the kite in the water. You don't want to have it too loose to where you got a clear piece of weed and your bait's going to pop out. So when you're setting up your kite set, you want to make sure the big end is facing down towards the bottom. But I'm going to show you how to hook in the ring. I mean, it is hard. With a headset, I'd be done. So when I hook it into the kite, I'll typically have this rod, right? This is going to be your furthest one, it's your first one. I'm going to have it in the rod holder on clicker. So I'll pull it out here, right? Don't worry about that phone. That's normal. You want to put the ring in such a way that when it's pulling, see how it's pulling true? That's how you have to put it in there. So it just takes a second when you first do it. You can't put it in like this. So exactly. So if you have it, see I can't do it wrong, I do it so much. Let's see. Let me did it right again. So basically you want to have it to where it's going through like this. So it's moving through the ring. Nice and easy. And I always put the reel on free spool clicker. Once you're at the first bait, you're not like trying to be quick. I can get 3 kite baits out in less than a minute, you know, big baits. Been doing it for so long, but when you're first starting out, I like to put the reel, I'll loosen the drag up. If I have a nice steady wind and the kite's pulling, I'll loosen the drag a little bit, it'll start to pull it out. As that's getting pulled out, I'll toss the bait out ahead of it, give it a little head of steam, and it'll start to pull it out. Then as that's going out, zzz, I'll take the other reel, do the same thing, hook it in, check my tension. A lot of guys put the tension way too loose. I actually like my tension to be a little tighter than most. I feel like you hook a lot of fish with the tension, especially on windy days. So that's another thing that's preference. Sailfish guys, they have it so light that if a plankton gets on the bait, it'll pop out. They have 20 guys in the cockpit. I don't want to deal with the bait popping out, so I fish it a little bit tighter. Again, after, if you guys want to come up and I can show you things in detail, because it's so far away, it's hard to see. But yeah, that's the gist of kite fishing. And the main thing is going and doing it and just going slow about it, not trying to be like so fast with it, especially the first time, second time you're doing it. Just kind of feel your way through it.
The pink's the easiest to see too.
Yeah, the pink, I like the pink floats. It's basically for a visual. A lot of times I don't even use them though, I use the weight for visual. Just because the kingfish will eat the floats, and then you lose your big kingfish, or you lose your sailfish. Kingfish will eat the float. So when you get good enough where you can see everything, you don't have to really use the float, but the float's there for visual aid for sure.
Well, charters the float is good, but if you're fishing a tournament, no float.
Yeah. And then they sell these electric kite reels now are so easy. You don't have to have plugs that are all in the way of your feet. They sell batteries. So basically they sell battery, I think what's the Bloody? Abyss and Bloody, and there's
900.
Yeah, they sell different batteries that I have a couple real batteries. You put them on there, you strap them up, and they'll last for 2 days. And literally it's like having an electric kite reel. You just go like that, because back in the day when I was fishing the gorge, the customers always tripped on them, and it bends the plugs, and then you got to get a new plug, and it happened all the time. It makes it a lot easier.
So the advantage with kite fishing is that you can have more lines out as compared to outriggers. We have multiple lines on outriggers.
That and presentation of bait, but the reality of it is you have more lines in the water.
But it looks like if you really get tangled up, you get 2 fish on it.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that definitely can happen.
That's a great problem.
Yeah. When your long gets eaten, right, and you got to shorten the way, and the fish is usually when you're drifting that way, so the line's going to go across the short. So basically, I say, "Hey, Mike, I'm getting bit." He'll come to my medium. He'll start to reel it slowly. Again, if you reel it too fast, you got a bait that big on it. It's going to pop out. That way, it lifts out of the water. Fish goes under it. He drops it back down. I go under him. It's more controlled chaos. But when you're fishing by yourself, just fun, recreationally, there's no reason to go through all that. Just put 2 baits out there. And that's where the 90 feet comes into play, because it really gives you more play. Guys put 50, 60 feet. I don't say guys, they sell them like that. If you go to any tackle shop and they sell you a kite pre-made setup, they're going to be too close together. And it's just, you can't, and they use terrible swivels. I don't get it, but that's pretty much it with that.
Can you just, are you
you, after salty day, how are you washing your kites? Do you use soap and water on them or no, or?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you just soap and water fine.
you know what happens when you keep them in your helm? Unless you have a big boat like Sandy,
They mildew?
they mildew. The white ones do. So I pull them out every single day. That's the one thing with my boat is I don't have 100% sealed helm. So a little bit of water gets in there, a little bit of moisture. I always clean it out, but the kites, like if I don't fish for a week or if I'm at my son's baseball, they get mildewy. I just looked today, I had a guy actually come clean my boat he does like weekly cleanings, it's nice, cheap. And I looked at the kite, brand new white kite, it's all moldy. But yeah, you wanna rinse them down with soap and water. Warm salt, I've usually put them in the shower, actually, with the hotter water. It gets the salt off better. Testing.
Does rod length play a factor?
Yeah, I like all my rods to be about 7 feet. The spinners and the conventionals. I think too short doesn't fish properly and too long is just not my cup of tea. I think 7 foot is, this size right here is perfect. And you want to use like a 20-40. That's another good question. I like 20-40, but I like a true 20-40. Because when a lot of people, they use 15-30, okay? And what happens is your blue runner or your bluefish or a bait the J hook can pull out at the top of the head. You go to reel it in, and you can't reel them in. You think you got a blue marlin on. There's no pull, there's no strength in that rod, right? So, and it's not going to help not pull hooks, right? There's a limit. Like that's, to me, the best rod I found is 20-40. You have some guys who like lighter. Again, there's too many sharks to really go lighter than that.
So I guess there's an etiquette when you're kite fishing, you're asking people to really give you a lot of room.
No.
No?
So here we go. Now there's another thing I'll add to it. Seaweed, sharks, and commercial kingfishermen.
So they don't care?
No, they don't care. They'll run your kite lines right over.
You forgot sailboats.
Sailboats, they don't even know what they're doing. They think it's cool to catch your kite. You know, the thing is you kind of stay away from things that are bothering you, right? There's no reason to get in a pissing contest over, you know, like the bugger boats. Say all the bugger boats are just strictly on kingfish. Well, I don't need to be near them to catch my limited kingfish. They're going to be on the bigger school, not necessarily the better school. So I'll start way up the line, right? And by the time I get to them, I know all of them, so I don't really have a problem. But for the random person out there, I can't imagine what they have to deal with. They probably run their stuff over, and the person's like, "What's going on?" You know. So those guys are special.
Maybe you mentioned it, I was right a little bit, but did you talk about the attention you give to the kite? Do you normally need one person dedicated to that? Because you gotta constantly move.
Oh yeah.
And regulate that depth, right?
And
I didn't catch you talking.
I didn't talk about that. Well, I did a little bit, but regularly, like, you're never gonna have a perfect steady wind. Every once in a while, you'll get it to where it's perfect, right? You're still dealing with moving the kite baits, keeping them on the surface, dodging weed. That's where the job becomes where I was just saying before, you could just leave it and forget about it. That's not a bad thing either, because that bait's still gonna be fishing well. You know what I mean? But yeah, you definitely have to be focused on the kite. You wanna see the bite. That's what's cool about kite fishing. You see a big explosion, you see, and seeing that bite too helps you. And you know, if I see a huge explosion and I know he has it, I won't even let him eat it. And he's got it every single time. If I see him do this and I see my bait go to the right, I know he doesn't have it, so I'm still holding it. And that's another thing, when you're holding your kite line, you don't want to move it. If he doesn't have it, don't feed it to him, right? Because now you're going to get cut off. So I'll hold it on the surface and I'll keep it the same way it was. This fish is skying, or sailfish is spinning on it, or beaking it and all that stuff. It comes with time to become really efficient at it, but those fish do come up and just inhale it a lot of times too. You don't have to be the best at it to catch fish on the kite, that's for sure.
When you're setting the drift on kite, are you focused on anything particular geographically? So the structure, anything like that?
We have reef systems down there more than structure. So I'm starting usually, depending on how fast I'm moving, and the first drift tells all. Unless you want to sit there for 10 minutes, which I don't need to be perfect on a charter. If you want to sit there for 10 minutes and say, okay, I'm moving this fast, so I probably want to start in 250, or you can just start in 250, and it might take a half hour longer to get to 80. Sometimes the fish are going to be 120 to 80, and you'll start in 250, 300, and you won't get a bite till you get to 120. Why is that? Who knows? Some days you catch them in 300, but a lot of times 150 to 80, 120 to 80 is where you're going to catch all your fish, all your wahoo, everything, because that's where the bait is. It's just the truth.
Hear me out. Kite fishing for tarpon.
100%. That's how I catch them. They don't eat. I can't get a tarpon to eat anything during the day when the water's crystal clear. Besides on the kite on Singer Island, we use big mullet.
Oh.
Yeah, they eat them. They come up. You're fishing for the spinner sharks. They'll eat them. If you could throw 50-pound fluoro with a giant mullet and see 200 tarpon on the drone. Cast them in front. They just swim by like it's. As soon as it's on the kite, whoa, they eat it. Yeah. 100%. It works for everything. Bass. I've caught bass, kingfish off the jetty here, snook.
Bass off the jetty?
Yeah, out here. All the fresh water now. I catch largemouth right off the tee. No, I do right there. No, kingfish off the years and years ago. Pre-boat.
Yeah.
Like 2019. As soon as I got a boat, I don't fish for anything inshore anymore. No need to.
Do you have the ability to follow a weed line or a rip while you're kite fishing?
If you're pushing and pulling, yeah, you can.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, if the fish are on it, sure. Yeah, it definitely is. I see some days when I'm out there and I'll be drifting and there's a sailfish tournament going on, and I see all the guys, they're bumping into the wind. They're keeping the kites off the back, and they're struggling, and I'm crushing it on the drift. There's different presentations that definitely get bites on different days, but they might be getting 4, I'm getting 6, or I might get 6 one day and they get 8. When you're recreationally doing it, it's not that important to be that serious. But yes, definitely when you're on a weed line like that or on a rip, you're gonna have more chances than if you just blow inside of it drifting. So that's where the outriggers will work.
Yeah.
Because you can stay along that rip with the live baits and have a spread. There's definitely an advantage to having outriggers. I just won't be able to deal with them in my way. But definitely, that's a good idea.
On the light days, do you use helium?
Yeah. This time of year I'm fishing, when the sardines are here, you want to take advantage of that. You can have a blast just catching everything on sardines. I mean, you just let it out and it gets eaten. It's a bonita, it's a tuna, it's a king, it's a sail. I like catching fish, so it's wonderful catching. If you have a well full of sardines, you're gonna have a good day. That's for sure.
Would you put that helium above the balloon or?
Oh, so that's a good question. I'm gonna show you real quick. The helium balloon, so say this is facing this way and you want it to go this way, right? Then you'll hook it right to this, but on the back side, in the middle. That'll cause it to bank over like this. If you wanted to go the other way, hook it on this side, and that'll cause it to go this way. It's the opposite if you were using weights, but split shots, you want to put it on the side you want it to move to. With a helium balloon, you actually want to be the opposite. As far as hooking a helium balloon on the back, there's no reason to do all that. You need floss, you need tape. You can just put it on one of the spars and just put it out. just put it on the windward side, so whichever way the wind's going. You know, if you're fishing and there's a northwest wind, then just fish it on this side so it goes with the northwest wind, so it's blowing nice, instead of trying to fight that way against the wind.
So the split shot's on the inside and then.
The split shots you want to put on the corners. I like using big split shots. There's a lot of guys who like put them all in the corners up here. That's just nonsense. They try to get too much of a turn, right? And when you try to get too much and that wind falls out, and I don't have the balloon, it's gone. So I just keep it to where I know I'm getting a nice bank, and if the wind does pick up a little bit, so what? I'm not perfect, it's fine. I'm not, it's not gonna benefit me to be 5 more feet because I put more split shots on the tip. Just make it simple, just put the split shots right here, right in this area. Anywhere from here to here. Again, it's a feel thing, you know, there's a lot of ways to do it, and there's a lot of ways that are correct to do it. But yeah, that's how you would bank the kite. But the easiest way is just to tie it right to the spar on the back, right in the back in the middle.
Can I see your shit now?
Yeah.
Can I come on up?
Yeah. It's easier if I show you, because it's hard to hold this.
Yeah.
I'm hungry, I almost want to eat it.
Hey, I know the ship has sailed.